And thanks for joining us. We're the Spoiler Kings, about to talk about our House of the Dragon episode 4. Kind of going to do a little recap review. Uh, so, what did you think about the episode first?
Very interesting, man. It was man, I liked
Crazy?
it. I'll give it. I liked it. Very political, in the sense of the Westeros kind of stuff. Very political. Very what are certain people doing? I'm like, huh. So interesting, man. Interesting. It kind of brings in stuff that they haven't done in a while, like since episode 1 or 2. Kind of brought it back in, and like, oh, I don't know. I enjoyed it. It was,
I
yeah,
definitely enjoyed it. Man, I don't know what to expect from these guys. Rhaenyra, I have no idea
yeah,
what she is. and,
yeah,
and Damon, I know exactly what he is. He's the same guy all the time. And it's just so much going on. And Queen Allison, I see her, and she's just doing her duty, and then even her father. I mean, there's just so much going on. It's very political, but it's a lot. It's about power,
yeah,
and I think that's the whole episode was basically about power and who has power over what, and power to persuade, and power to rule, and power to not be taken advantage of,
mm-hmm.
and that's basically the entire episode.
Yeah, yeah. Plus, throw in a lot of sex. A lot of sex. So it felt very, very much. Besides the violence, it had everything else that you think of Game of Thrones. Yeah, everything else.
What did you think about when Damon first came back?
I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I'm like, is he in here going to be like, listen, give it to me. It's mine. I want it. That's why I'm not. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like he's doing things out of spite. Doing things to piss him off, kind of. But also not. So I don't know. I don't know. He's two different people. One with Rhaenyra and one with his brother. Was it Venerius? Yeah, he's two very different people with depending on who he's with. So it's very interesting.
Is he because I think with Versus, he's basically what he's doing is just he's teasing them. He knows he wants his brother because he's very lonely as king.
Mm.
He doesn't have anyone really to talk to, so he's playing him a little bit. And I think he's playing Rhaenyra too. But the problem with her is that she's exactly like him, so she's playing him right back. And that was so apparent in the whole brothel scene. That whole scene, like he was trying to take advantage of her, and instead she turns back around and she's like taking advantage of him and kissing him, and to the point where he's like, whoa. And then I keep on seeing a lot of people saying that she lies to Queen Alicent about the whole thing between her and him. But she didn't lie because he couldn't. She technically told the truth because he couldn't have sex with her because he couldn't get going. So he walks away because she took the power away from him. That's what it seemed to be like. She took the power. Same thing on the bridge. She took the power away from him then. That's the same thing she did in that brothel. And that's why I thought that was pretty big.
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, like she didn't lie, but she didn't tell the whole truth. Because she's like, oh, you're sullied. Well, I didn't have sex with him. So it's like, well, you kind of glossed over the thing there, but okay. Yeah. So, but yeah, she didn't fully lie, but she didn't tell the full truth either. So, but no one was but it's also kind of comes down to, it's like no one was asking the right question. Exactly. They were all like, did you have sex with Damien? Did you have sex and she's like, no,
I didn't have sex with my uncle at all. What are you talking about? I didn't do that.
Like, I swear on my mother's grave, I did not have sex with him. It was like,
we were just in the brothel having fun, watching the show. What?
Yeah.
It's like, that was really your answer, watching the show?
Yeah, I know.
What else did you like about this whole episode?
right at the end of the episode. I know we might be skipping a lot because there was a lot in the middle was very, I want to say not boring. It was very like, I don't know. Like I felt like I knew what was going to happen. They were kind of going through the motions with the whole brothel thing, and then this. But at the very, very end, when the king, talked to his daughter about this whole situation, about everything that happened, and they're having I feel like a good conversation, because it's not only like a conversation of you're my daughter, but you're also next in line. You also are not only important to me as a daughter, but important to what I'm giving you the power of, like you need, and I'm like, and it was kind of really a good conversation between them two. But at the end, when again she goes, listen, I know what I'm going to do because I know what I need to do. Do you know what you need to do? And I was like,
tell Otto you can't be his hand anymore.
But it's like, but that's what she had told him in episode 2. He goes, like, listen, I know what you got to do, so do it. And then he does it, and it pissed her off. I think, so
it took 4 years for them to get back to this point, though. It seems like it took all that time just to get back to this point to have a real conversation.
Yeah. So that was the part I liked. I was like, oh, because she's kind of really showing, like, I could be the leader. You know what I mean? Like I could be a boss, and I feel like she is a badass. She is a little bit of a badass, but
she scares me. I'm telling you, the whole, I know the brothel thing wasn't a big thing. It was a teenager being just, defiant and all that stuff. But what she did to take the power back from Damon was scary. And then when she seduced her knight, that was like, oh, okay, we can do that. All right. And like no one else knows that he's not standing outside her door. Really? Okay. And then even when they questioned her, she immediately had answers for her. Like she is quick. She's never going to be caught off guard. That's someone that you got to be really scared of. I mean, really worried about because you're never going to be able to catch them in a lie.
Yeah.
That's what I came up with. I was like, wow, this girl is something. And as she gets older, because this the time jump's going to happen soon. They're going to jump another 15 years in the next episode or 2.
Yeah, I think they teased it. I saw a picture of the young baby brother not being a young little baby anymore. So yeah, so I saw some of that already. But yeah, I know. What were some parts where you're like, I could do without that?
The whole thing with Alicent and Viserys in the bed. I mean, I understood that she's just doing it for duty, but his back being all full of all the swords, I guess that was like, I don't need to see the legions. I don't need that in my life. And her just being totally bored and him not even being aware. just was so.
Caring. He's just so like,
all right, I'm going to do what I'm doing. I don't care. Yeah. But I just kind of could do without it. Even her, Alicent, when she's trying to comfort the baby and nurse the baby, she doesn't like very good nurser. I mean, she looks like a kid trying to figure out how to be a mom.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think she never wanted to be there. Like, and then when her and Rhaenyra, how did I pronounce her name? I still don't know how to pronounce her damn name.
Rhaenyra.
Hey, I think you will. Yeah, where they were like sitting down and she was like, oh, I'm glad you're back. I haven't had a friend and blah, blah, blah. And she was like saying like, oh, it's not that bad to be a queen. And she goes, yeah, I'd be stuck in a cage, popping out babies. Looks over at her, was like, oh, my bad.
She did that. She's like, I don't want to be stuck doing this popping out babies. Just gotta be a nurse or whatever. And she looked at her like,
yeah.
What? They calling me over there. I gotta go over there.
I thought that was kind of funny. But it was also like they're kind of stuck in the same boat, but kind of not a little bit. You know what I mean? Where like at least Rhaenyra has an opportunity to not go down that path. Where what's her name? It was kind of Alicent. Alicent was kind of like put in there by her father. So it was like she never wanted it, so she was just like stuck, so it's kind of.
Do you think Alicent is jealous of Rhaenyra?
Oh, I think so. Yeah. I was thinking
freedom and all that, and sitting and watching her like, wow, your father let you do whatever, and my father forced me to be, your
mom
to this old dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I think she knew. She like it's funny because like towards the end of the episode, she knew. She goes, "Listen, like I saw it coming. I know what's going on. How do you not?" Telling her dad, the king, like, "How do you not see this? Like, are you that stupid?" And like kind of like calling him out on it. It's like
it was like the first time he realized that his hand pushed his daughter onto him. It's like the first time it was like, "Oh wow, you idiot."
Yeah. I know. He's I don't hate him, but I think he's a little.
He's dense. Like, how are you king? How did you get king?
I think he's not arrogant. Well, I'm trying to think ignorant to a lot of like oblivious. He's very oblivious to like the obvious,
Yeah.
And I think there's some things, he's oblivious to his brother, he's oblivious to his daughter, he's oblivious to his hand and now his new wife. And it was like, dude, like he had everything was given to him so easily to the point where he didn't need to focus on shit, but now things are kind of hitting the fan and now he needs to like, wait, hold on, what's going on?
The Civil War is all because of him.
I mean,
it's gonna be all because of him. I mean, because he can't make decisions.
Can't make good decisions. Hey,
what's up, Smoke?
What's up, dude?
How you doing? Well, yeah, no, I mean that was. I'm surprised Rhaenyra's, night out didn't have bigger consequences. Honestly,
really, I thought it
really didn't though, because if anyone ever found out about it, she wouldn't be able to, marry a noble. That's the biggest thing. If you're, not a virgin, you can't marry into a noble household. So and she just kind of whatever. No one said anything else, and it was just like, oh, okay. And then at the end, when they gave her a plan B, T, I was like, what? Plan B T's all the time, but you cut the whole mom up, take a baby out. You had no idea like what else to do.
I thought that was kind of like, well, I thought it was more interesting that her father sent it. He's like, listen, here's this. You do what you want to do with it. And I was like, wow, what I mean? Like, that's because it's I think he respects his daughter enough. He's like, listen, I don't want to know. I don't need to know. But you know what you need to do. Because she even said, I know what I need to do. So he's like, here it is. You can figure it out on your own. So it's kind of interesting, because she was looking at it. She goes, I could, I don't know.
Well, the problem is, I mean, if she marries Corliss's son, and the baby comes out and is not partially dark.
Yeah.
a big mess. People might figure out something.
Yeah. So I don't know. I get why she kind of did it. I mean, she's young and she got all worked up and then had to find somewhere to go, I guess. But yeah.
Well, I mean, they've been flirting back and forth. Her and her knight have been flirting back and forth the entire time. So like, I knew that was going to come, but it's just she makes all these decisions, and so many people that are going to be affected by it. But look at her father doing the same thing, so I can't even be mad at her.
I know, right? I know he's but even like see, that's what threw me off too. What do you think about Damien lying?
Saying that he did. Like, I think it put him in a better position, because what if Viserys did say, yeah, you can marry her? It would have put him in place to be king. And back where he wanted to be.
Get exactly what he wants.
Yeah, but without manipulating. Because it was like he had a plan. I feel like he was going to manipulate her, but then she turned it around on him, and then he couldn't finish the deal, and he just had to walk away from it. And because of that, this is the only chance. It's like, I could pretend like I did this. And as Viserys said, it doesn't really matter if you did or didn't. It's the thought that people think that you did, then that's good enough.
Yeah, well, that's what even the king said. He goes, "The truth doesn't matter; it's perception."
Yep.
And I was like, "Dude," because there's that that saying, it's like reality, perception is reality.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So whenever I work with people, I was like, "Listen, it doesn't matter how hard you work; you just have to look like you're working hard." Like, dude, man, come on, that's just like a fact of life. Like, the quicker you learn that,
I tell
the
people
better
all
off
the time, like when you see me coming, you better be grabbing a towel and do something. Pretend like you're doing something. Because
Yeah.
if I see you doing it, at least you understand the game. The worst thing you can do is for me to come in and you not doing it, and now I got to do something else.
Yep. Yeah, I learned that early on.
And he says she could just claim immaculate conception.
Yeah, okay.
It was him. It was God. I don't know. I don't. It wasn't me.
Although I feel like in Westeros, like some guy would come down and be like, it was like because everyone we're gonna claim something. Yeah.
What do you think about Otto even sending someone to spy on her? Like, was Otto part of this plan, or was Otto just on looking out for his grandson's well-being?
I think a little bit of both, because in Game of Thrones we knew, like because Otto reminds us of Littlefinger. At least for me, which I hope pretty soon we're gonna do a comparison to, because there's a lot of similarities to some of these characters. But same thing where he had his little, what are they called? His little, I don't know, his little spies,
watchers or whatever,
birds or whatever you call them.
Yeah.
So it's not too out of the ordinary, and I feel like being the hand of the king, that's something you're gonna do anyway. Like, have eyes everywhere just in case, because you need to be ready for stuff. Say if something happens, like the hand of the king needs to be like, hey, listen, this is gonna happen. But I also kind of feel like he's putting a little bit more eyes on her, because he knows she already left the beginning of the episode when she was like looking for husbands. She took off 2 months early. So I think
he was already pissed.
He was already pissed, and you could tell in the beginning of the episode when she comes
little
back.
Birds, Little Birds. Yeah,
there you go. Yeah,
good job, Andy.
Yeah. So and I feel like that's not anything new, because so many people had that in Game of Thrones. It makes sense, but also because that's the thing. The whole thing with Otto is he's not fully selfish, but he's not fully.
Well, he's just like everyone else on the thing. I mean, just all of them looking out for looking for their best interest. They're still looking out for their best interest while trying to
serve. Yeah.
So, but it seems like when he got the information, he was happy because he's like, my grandson is a shoe-in for this, for this throne.
Mm-hmm.
Then he realized he had to be the one to tell him, and I think he knew the blowback was going to come out on him.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's gonna be interesting, because I didn't know. Like, I don't know if they said it before how much he's been the hand of king for 2 kings or whatever, and
since his grandfather's.
Yeah.
Well, he was nothing, and then he did something great and became the second most powerful man in all the kingdom.
Yeah. So, but he flew a little too close to the sun. I think he was. I think he was trying to do a good thing, but it was eclipsed by kind of the selfishness that he did do. So it kind of came off a little bit of both. It was like, hey, look, I'm looking out for your daughter and the kingdom, but also the byproduct is my grandson can slide in there, so it's like a little bit of both,
But
so
it's like when I think the king realized, like, I lost my brother because of you. All the answers, because Corlys was fine with with Daemon being the next in line. Everyone else was like, oh, well, just let it be Daemon. Who cares? But then Otto was like, you can't do that. All the high towers, like, he can't be the guy. And then he does that, and then he manipulates his daughter into being the person that he can confide in, and now he has his grandson, so he's made his way all the way from just a regular commoner to being part of the throne, being right there, being grandson, his grandson being the king. So I mean, he's definitely done a lot of self-interest. And I think when you really look at it in the grand scheme of things, that's what the king was finally understanding. This dude has been manipulating me for years.
Yeah. Which, when you think about it, isn't that what the Hand of the King does?
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's his job, is to like manipulate the king. So, but
what do you think is going to happen next in our next episodes?
I don't know. Now that we know Damien has some feelings for his niece.
Did you see? So you didn't see the what they said is going to happen next?
I did not. I never really watched the like next week's episode. Yeah. I always kind of skipped that
little trailer.
Yeah,
I saw some of it and nothing really surprised me.
Yeah. Okay. So you already kind of know.
Yeah. But how long do you think Viserys will be alive? That's my real question.
Yeah. Which you know what? That's what I was thinking too, because you saw the lesions. You know, his fingers don't look any better because you saw that for a little bit, and I think I wonder if that's why he can't make his son heir, because he needs to pass down the knowledge. You know, and if he's dead, he can't pass down the knowledge, and then it kind of like their mission of being Targaryens on the throne will be dead. So it has to be her, because he gave her the knowledge. Now he's like, you have to carry this on, because even in there, he's like the dagger and blah 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 and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
Still telling about the dagger and all this.
Yeah,
stuff.
And he's like, it's this weighs more than the throne. This weighs more than the family. This means the world, literally. You know, like to how whatever as far as he knows.
Yeah.
You know, this is the world as we know it. You know, not just our house or the kingdom. You know, it's everything. So I feel like that's one thing. He's like, I know I'm not going to live forever, and I'm assuming the lifespan in that world is not that long. And by the time his son becomes old enough, he's not going to be there. So who's going to pass down this knowledge? You know, so I feel like it has to be her, because it needs there's info, and she has the info. I don't think she respects it yet. I don't think she understands. She just thinks like king and
what
blah,
18-year-old girl would. Well, yeah. 18-year-old, 17, 18-year-old girl. That's just what they are. That's just what it is.
And also, I mean, you're telling a teenager like, hey, listen, sometime later, it might be tomorrow, it might be later, it might be never, but eventually, you know, maybe there might be this big threat coming in from the north. So be ready for that. So it's like, cool. You know, it's like, yeah. So, you know, but you know, that is something I thought of, you know, of him. How long does he have?
This is the question I was going to ask you next. Andy already hit me up. Was that the dagger that Littlefinger gave to the assassin? Game of Thrones.
I believe it was, wasn't it?
It looked like, it looked like the exact same, because you know, reading the words on it, I feel like those are the exact same words.
Yeah.
I was pretty
I like
sure
how they give that dagger more meaning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it winds up in what's it? The young daughter Stark's hands, don't it?
Yeah.
Arya.
Yeah.
Because she uses that to kill. Does she use that? Yeah, she uses that to kill the spoiler alert. You know,
if you haven't watched Arya.
I don't want to get into it, but yeah, she kills the Ice King, or
what's his name called?
The White Walker King.
Yeah, the White Walker King. Yeah.
So, you know, so if you haven't seen it, you're like, wait, she kills him? Yeah, she fucking kills him. It's stupid. It's so stupid.
Don't be mad because the first 4 seasons were great, and then after that it was like,
still makes no sense. Why did she kill him? Like, it was cool. It was cool on screen, but like later, after you think about it, you're like, wait, why did she kill him? Like, why was it her and not 4 or 5 other people that it should have been?
That could have been, that all had opportunity.
Yeah.
Oh no, let's not talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. Let's stay on this. Get angry. But the dagger is pretty cool, man. I wouldn't mind buying a replica of that. It's pretty awesome.
Have it on the shelf. All right.
Yeah, that would be cool.
All right. So is this the last we hear from Daemon for a while?
No, hell no.
And now my question for you is, what was the feelings between Damon and Rhaenyra something that's happened before? Because he gave her that necklace.
Yeah.
I know she was only 14 years old, but this is back then. And technically their age is not supposed to be that far apart.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, either way, it's so icky on many levels.
But incest is whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah. And that's why I said this episode had everything of Game of Thrones, like incest, a lot of sex, a lot of like betrayal and lying and everything. I had everything except for the violence. But yeah, I think it was their first time. They made it seem like it was their first time. I don't think they were like, oh, this happened before. I think it was meant to be like a first time thing.
It was weird because it didn't shock her. Like everything didn't shock her. And I don't know, maybe it said something about Rhaenyra, but I don't know. I thought that was very interesting in the way she reacted. And this is gonna be it. This is gonna be really something. I can't wait to see this time jump and see how she is with her husband. I just can't, because I feel like she's going to be dominant over no matter what happens. Whoever she was going to be, she's going to be dominant.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
She'll be that.
I mean, if she can keep Damien in check, who's supposed to be like this badass of the realm and this and that, and the new king of the narrow sea or wherever the hell he is.
Yeah.
Like he's this badass, and he's like kept in check by her. So I think she's a very powerful, like strong-willed woman. I think it's gonna if anything, it's gonna get more and more, I think, as we get farther along into the season.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. So far, man. So far, this has been a pretty good season. Very fun.
Everything made sense. Things are shocking and not like stupid. So I'm all for it. So
yeah. I wonder if it's because if George R. is way more involved in it. So,
especially at the beginning.
Yeah, I think he's been very involved in it in this season. So, yeah.
Any other future predictions you got?
I don't know. I mean, the way the people, because when she went into the crowd and they were all like, "Oh, we want this person. We don't want her. She's a woman." I think her brother is gonna find out about, like, "Oh, you should be king. You should be king." I think he's gonna be told that a lot, to the point where, like, once he becomes like 15, 16 or whatever, he goes, "I should be king. You're a woman. I'm the actual male. I should be king." And I think it's gonna like I think he might be a Joffrey of sort.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm thinking. We haven't seen that character yet, a Joffrey.
I wonder if Daemon kills him.
Ooh, interesting.
Just putting that out there.
Interesting. Yeah.
Not saying next episode or anything like that, but I'm saying the long run. Daemon is a warrior after all, and he has a connection with Rhaenyra, and I could see Daemon saying, "All right, I'm not gonna get the throne," and he challenges her and he takes him out.
Possibly, I can see that. I mean, it's the beginning of the Civil War, so a Targaryen got to kill Targaryen at some point, right? I mean,
exactly.
So someone's gonna go down.
Or does Daemon kill his brother? Never leaves to go back home. He already lost his concubine, whatever. That she went back to the city. Does he go and he kill his brother and make it seem like it was all from the sickness, and that starts stuff?
Maybe.
Just saying.
Maybe.
I think those are going to be interesting things to see. But put in comments, see what you guys think. Let us know. Where do we go from here? I can't wait to see. I want to know what you guys think, and then I want to see what actually happens. So this sounds great.
Yep. Yeah. Leave a comment. I mean, there's so many people in the comments already that are giving us really good info. So, I'm all about that.
Yeah,
give us that info.
Especially if you read the books. Hopefully, we don't know if they're going to follow them, but just tell us information. If you have information, you have feelings, I want to hear about it.